Alright, I'm getting ready to paint my Pinewood Derby car. Here's the design. It's something I came up with myself. It uses a plastic canopy made from a soft soap bottle, and it's got some grommets and some dowel rods on the back end for some detail work. Here's where the idea started, and I think it's a good place to start with a chunk of styrofoam cut to the same size as a Pinewood Derby kit. You can just use a steak knife to whittle away at it. You can have a design in a couple of minutes, and you can just throw it away, start from scratch. A lot easier than starting with wood and finding out that you don't like the way the car looks as you make your way through it. Here's the supply list for this car to the point where I've got it. You've got the soft soap bottle. Here's the section of the bottle that I used, just that upper shoulder there. I just trimmed it away, cut the bottle in half for starters, and then just started trimming away. Laid it down on a sheet of sandpaper, just rubbed it, wore it away. We've got the grommets. We've got the kit itself. Comes with some nice wheels in this Pine car kit. So that's all you need other than the other items. We've got a 3/16 rod for the tail lights, 3/4 inch rod for the jet engine, and that's it. A few of the items that I'm going to be using yet. We've got a choice of which ones to use here, but here's a real good choice for priming the car and filling in the grain. It dries fast. You want to sand that out a few times. You want to put on a coat, just give it a quick sanding with some 180 paper. Put on another coat, give it a little more 180. It'll get all the grit out of the, or the grain I should say, out of your surface. It'll make a nice slick surface for when you put your tester's paint job on there. If you come up with areas where you cut away too far, a little bit of Bondo or the more traditional plastic wood. It takes a little bit more time to dry, but that's another way. They've also got putty, which is very similar to plastic wood. I'm going to pan out and show you some of the tools that you would want to have on hand to do this. The coping saw and the hacksaw. I find that I often like to remove the saw blade from the hacksaw to make it a little easier to get around. Here we've got a chisel and a screwdriver that I use for breaking away the wood. I'll show you on the computer screen in just a second. The drill for drilling out the areas for where the dowel rods went into the body. Sandpaper. We got some tape that I use to mask some lines, and having some files is a good idea too. Here's a quick look at the point where I trimmed the body to its main style. You want to trace the pattern on either side of the body, then either use a coping saw, or if you've got a jigsaw or even a bandsaw, that would speed things up. But after you do that, I masked a masking tape line down the center of the body, 3/4 inch wide, and then just made a cut on either side of that tape. And what I'm doing there is making the flat spot for that canopy to fit in. This dowel removes. So that's what it took to get that groove. That's the first cut I'm showing there. I'll just click through this really fast, a few steps here. I cut multiple grooves in there, all the same depth, and then went in with the screwdriver and twisted to remove those shards of wood. and you're left with something similar to what I've got now. I've got the back end done there. I'm still working on the front end. Right here, this is a fine tool made out of a paint stick. You get yourself a paint stick, put some spray glue onto it, and lay some sandpaper on there. You can get precisely the file that you need, and it'll be nice and sharp. So having a file or two around is a good idea, but being able to make your own files, that's a great idea. It cuts faster than a file, works really good. Alright, I'll get down to the 180 sanding on here. Still have to do a little sanding, and I'll get to showing you how to prime it and paint it in the next episode. We'll see you soon.